just letting the players in the back know, just because I didn't get a standing ovation, we will be running later in practice. But it's a great time to be a Bulldog, and what better way to kick off today being able to talk about Drake women's basketball. So really, really anxious, really excited to be able to showcase our team, to be able to talk about some expectations and what you're going to be able to see from our program moving forward. But just to I guess, preview our summer, we had the luxury and the very fine experience of being able to play 3 real basketball games this summer. So we did a foreign trip to Italy. We were able to be there for 10 days. If you'd like to go back and watch kind of the entire trip unfold via social media and on our website, please do so, because we had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I do think in those situations, one of the things teams aren't afforded is the opportunity to play real basketball games in the summer. What you're focused on is skill development and team chemistry and really falling back in love with the game of basketball during the summer. But we were able to ramp things up. We played 3 games while we were there, and holy cow, we had a lot of fun. Then coming back, what we were able to do is to really pinpoint and focus upon what this team needed to improve upon to be able to put the best product on the floor on Sunday when you step back in the Knapp Center to watch our first exhibition game against Northwest Missouri State. But what we discovered was this team is very, very competitive. They're edgy, they're gritty, and I love the fact that we were able to really take 10 days to develop some team chemistry because we were all on vacation together. So that was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity that propelled us into this fall. So this fall we've been able to hone in on different skill sets, being able to, I know one of the questions that's probably going to come up with is our 19 assists per game along with our 18 turnovers that we averaged this last year. So we're no longer going to call them turnovers. We might want to figure out how to call them like whoopsies or something. I don't know, but we're just going to stop saying that word. But one of the things that obviously our team needs to make sure that we're doing is taking care of the basketball. It's always been kind of our Achilles heel and something that we continue to work on a daily basis. With that being said, then really our focus has been upon skill development and really kind of putting things together offensively and defensively. One of the great things, we found out about a week ago, we were picked 3rd in the Missouri Valley Conference this year. But I think one of the great things when you think about our team, we returned 4 starters, okay? 4 starters from a team that ended finding themselves in postseason play and found a way to really get it done in postseason. We were able to, to win a couple games. I think that experience really sparked the hunger of this group and seeing what they were able to do. So the Missouri Valley has added a number of different teams this year. Now we're up to 12 teams in our conference. So we'll see a couple different places, a little bit different flavor. But I think one of the things you can constantly and will continue to expect from the Missouri Valley Conference is it's going to be a grind each and every single night. And so being named, to finish in the top half of our conference is always a really, really nice compliment. But now that part's over, now we still got to continue to get back to work. So speaking of our conference, we have a lot of different coaches that have added to our conference. We will play 20 games in our conference schedule. And then everybody kind of what everyone wants to talk a little bit about is really our non-conference schedule. So we will kick things off with an exhibition game coming up here on Sunday. Get those tickets. The best part about it is you can come out to the Knapp Center, see the brand new renovation. I can tell you it is breathtaking, and it's wonderful having been a student athlete in the Missouri Valley and still walking into Drake, looking up at those banners. I tell you what, I still get goosebumps. And I guarantee you fans, when you come back, you're going to get those goosebumps too, because it's just a great addition for this basketball school just to really embrace exactly what we do here. So come on out and make sure you're seeing us in action. But the month of November, we will be home a lot. So you have our exhibition game. We will open up against Wisconsin Green Bay, which is typically a very, very talented mid-major school who usually does very, very well in their conference. And then, of course, we've got 2 top 10 teams in Iowa and Iowa State. We play Iowa at home. And then we play Iowa State on the road. That's in the middle of December. I do think it's a fantastic, phenomenal experience for everybody in the state of Iowa that we play those games. I think it's great to be able to play both Iowa and Iowa State, and also UNI, because you gotta love basketball. You gotta love women's basketball in this state. And I think it's fantastic for us to showcase not only to our communities, but also to young girls, just the product that we're able to put on the floor. So wrapping up really our non-conference, we have Nebraska, who also found themselves in the top 25. We have that at home in November. We'll take in a Thanksgiving tournament at FIU. And then one of the wonderful, our favorite piece of doing is the kids game. We're bringing that back. Character Counts will sponsor our kids game. We'll play Lindenwood. So if you want to come on a day that the Knapp Center rockin', and we've got about 6,500 kids, screaming kids that is, we're really excited to have that game back in the beginning of December. Then we'll go on the road for a little bit. We'll head to South Dakota, who is also an NCAA postseason team, as well as Creighton, who found themselves in the top 25. And then we'll wrap things up, obviously, with an exhibition game. One more game in December at home against Southwest Baptist, who will bring back a Drake women's basketball alum, Kelsey Kaiser, who actually coaches that team. So it'll be fun to have her back in the house. And then we will conclude our non-conference schedule, as I mentioned earlier, in Ames at Iowa State. So we've got our work cut out for us, but I'm really, really excited about the women in this program, really excited about the experience that we're going to return. I love our moxie. I love our competitiveness. Each and every day in practice, these women are committed to continuing to get better, and I think it's going to be a really special year. With that being said, I'd love to take any questions. Yeah, great question. So the question was really what to finish winning the last 8 out of our last 10. I think what this team finally figured out was that they were never going to give up. And I think, we just kept chipping away. And we were in so many games that came down really to the wire, and we just came up a little bit short. But I do think one of the things that we were really able to hone in on and to really enhance is our team chemistry during that time. Being able to have conversation, being able to, go back and film review, and then just put our best foot forward and just let it fly. So we also shot the ball really, really well down the stretch, just being able to hone in on our confidence level. So this is a really, really good shooting team.
You brought up you're going to be playing, 4 top 25 teams before the end of the year. I'm curious what your team kind of gets from that, getting all of those games in so early.
Yeah. I think what we're going to get out of that is really just a gauge. An exact gauge on, where does this team stand? How competitive are we? What are we willing to do to be able to put the ball in the hole or get that extra stop that we need when we need to get it? So I think it just gives us, more than anything, things that we either can praise and understand that we do really, really well, and then continue to enhance those and get better at those. And then also it gives us an opportunity, to play some really, really good teams and see where we match up. Absolutely. Well, I think they're all big games, and I think when you're coming out to watch this program, I think one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to fall in love with the women in our program. I think just the state of women's basketball, obviously in the state of Iowa, I alluded to this before, but I think there's a lot of really fantastic stories, and I think when you're coming out to watch programs play similar to the players at Iowa. We have those exact same stories here at Drake University. And so coming out to watch that sort of competition, and the best part about it is you're going to come out, watch that competition, and it's going to be you and 6,800 people. You know, that's the best part about it, is you're going to come to a sold out arena more than likely. And I hope you walk away a bigger fan of women's basketball. Yeah, well, I think the word experience really is one that people will continue to say with our group as you continue to watch us play. So again, we return 4 starters. Katie Denebeer in that, Anna Miller also in that situation was on the all freshman team last year, and that 1 year of experience. You know, not that there aren't any other surprises, but you've played on the road, you've played Missouri Valley Conference games, you've gone to hostile environments. So just the understanding of, more than anything, the expectation of being a student athlete. So in that same regard, you've got, you know, Maggie Phipps, Hannah Nilgis, you know, and also Ashley Iams, who were freshmen last year, who now have transitioned into being sophomores. So their experience after having a year under their belt, you also have, you know, you have our old ladies more than anything, I guess, on our team. You've got, you know, the Grace Bergs, you've got Maggie Bear, you've got S.B. Geldner, Megan Meyer, you know, and so kind of the list goes on and on. One of the other people that we've added back, who I would consider kind of an old lady because she's been around our program so long and people haven't talked about her in a year because she's been injured, is Taylor McCauley, who's done a really phenomenal job of stepping back into this group. Watching her play this summer, it's not going to take you long to recognize which one she is, because she's had a phenomenal fall. Really excited for us to be able to showcase her talents once we get to Sunday and this season, you know, as we continue on. But, you know, as far as experience, you know, Courtney Becker, this will be her 3rd year here as well. Courtney, at the moment I talk about you, things start falling apart. Just kidding. But yeah, so definitely, you know, one of those situations where I think the comfortability and the experience that they're able to attain, there still are secrets. There's things that creep up. There's things that there's still learning opportunities. But stepping on the floor when you're a sophomore, it's a lot different. 1, you're not a secret, but 2, you're stepping back on the floor with an added amount of experience and knowledge that you didn't have when you were just a freshman. Well, I think one of the things that they can offer is, you know, just the blind, like, love of the game, you know, and it's just the openness to being a sponge each and every day in practice and learning and going along. And sometimes I think what they're able to do is also help our coaching staff to understand what we need to teach and coach just a little bit better. But, you know, Tayden's a different look for us. She's had a phenomenal start to the year. She pushes our team, like, definitely interiorly, whether it's on defense and offense. She finishes around the rim really, really well. And then Ava hasn't really realized yet how fast she is. And so having her have the opportunity to each and every day learn from Katie Denebeer and all of our other players is invaluable for Ava. And I think the 2 of them have really fit and meshed right in. Yeah, great question. And I think one of the things that, you know, like, as Megan just kind of got absorbed into the system, you know, she just did a great job of being able to read, and she has a very, very high basketball IQ. I think one of the things that we've been able to see with her play really over the summer and really transitioning now is it's not brand new. Similar to your freshman year and really taking that step, I think, you know, she's doing things even more so now that she wasn't doing last year. And so she's had just a wonderful, wonderful start to this year. I think you're going to see layers of her game continue to come out, both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. But she's been a highlight of an addition for us, and both, just mad props for us. You have a 6-team preseason all MVC team, and Drake has 2 players that are listed in on that team, and so we don't take that lightly as well. So it's really great to see both Megan and Grace getting those accolades. Oh, great question. Great question. Well, I think, the honeymoon period's over. But I think, one of the great things is just that additional experience of you have no idea what you don't know when you move really, what is it? Some people call it 6 inches. At one point last year, I think I called it like 6 million miles to the left, to be able to take on that role of being the Susie Glazier-Burt head coach here at Drake. But I think one of the, the things that I've really learned and taken into consideration is just how much, how I show up each and every day affects how our players are. And my love and I guess dedication to Drake University has to come through each and every day. And I think just knowing that, whether or not we're coming off a day where it was a loss or coming off a day whether it was a bad day in practice, whatever the case might be, but just being able to step back in the gym, reset, and then just be really, really proud of where we are and what we get to do in this moment. Yeah. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think watching as a small town Iowa girl myself, being able to be a part of really collegiate athletics in the state of Iowa from a women's basketball perspective, I think it's one of the most amazing experiences ever. We have 4, Division I institutions, and I do think no matter what, if you live in this state, you can be a women's basketball fan, and you should be, mostly because of the product that we're putting on the floor. And I think in our communities, I think all institutions that are in this state do a wonderful job of outreach. I think they do a wonderful job of getting involved with the youth in their communities. But I also think when you go watch the product that they're able to put on the floor, I think it's pretty impressive. No. Next question. Luckily we aren't. No, we are not. So, knock on wood. Yeah. Well, I think what Grace has done is each and every day in practice, she's raised her level. And I think her teammates are recognizing that. And I think the best part about, you talk about a Grace Berg and scouting reports, that's, some people really highlight and pick one person. And so I think the greatest part about our team is go ahead and pick one, because we've got 4 other options that are on the floor. Typically, that could probably pan out pretty well. So I think, a couple of the layers that Grace has added, I think, is just her tenacity in practice. I think she's finishing really, really well around the rim. And when she's extending and stepping out, she's spent all summer really enhancing, shooting from outside 3. And you can definitely tell when we've done a couple scrimmages and also in practice. So I think she's very aware of that. And I think one of the things that, when you talk to Grace, and hopefully when she's here, she's, and this is our whole team, and maybe I didn't, sum this up as well in my opening comments, but you can kind of see an eye of the tiger sort of look with this group. We're focused when we need to be focused, but we also like to have a good time, even when we're on the floor together. So I think, that's one of the things that Grace has been able to do, is really be tenacious when she needs to be tenacious. And then also the finesse portion of her game comes out at times too. Anything else? thank you all so much for taking time out of your day and being here. So thanks again. Go Bulldogs!